Shalom, 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 everyone. Welcome once again to Shabbat Night Talk. My name is Lewi. I'm one of the teachers at Congregation Bay D.C.B. Happy to have everyone here tonight with me. Thanking the Creator of heaven and earth for all things and everything. Food, clothing, and shelter. I thank the Creator for life, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. And I hope that the Creator of heaven and earth be with us all on this holy Shabbat day. And we're thankful for all of the things that he does for us in our lives. And being grateful for the food that we just partook of, being grateful for our lives, being grateful for just being in our lives and doing all the things that he does for us. And I'm grateful to the Most High for my life and the life of all of you. And I bid to y'all in the talk of our ancient forefathers, Shabbat Shalom Aleichem. It's a blessed Shabbat day, and we should be glad and rejoice therein. I thank the Creator of heaven and earth for just the ability to breathe and get through the weeks, from week to week, from day to day, because sometimes it's not easy, but we persevere and we withstand whatever it is that comes our way. So in that, we also have to be grateful because the Most High God toughen us up for whatever is in front of us. And we, as they say, he doesn't give us more than what we could bear. So, sometimes we go through tough times, we go through rough times, but that's okay. That's part of life. That's also part of living. The Most High never said that it'll be easy. Think about some of the tests that some of the prophets went through. Jeremiah thought he was too young. He thought he couldn't do deeper. Look at the prophet Isaiah, Ezekiel. Jonah went a total opposite way from where God sent them. And then God had to bring him back and show him that I'm God, that I'm the creator. And he had to go do the job. So sometimes we think that what's happening is too much, or what's going on is too much. But God never gives us more than what we could handle. So we got to be grateful for all that he gives us and all that we have in our lives. I thank the Most High God for that. Somebody wrote, have I ever told people of the family the origins of Christmas and Christianity, but turned their ears from hearing the truth? That stuff is a gradual process. Whenever you're speaking to a conditioned mind about something that they've been doing for years, is not the easiest of tasks. A lot of times we confuse when people come in the midst of us, right? And they want to learn, they've already made a step to step outside of their comfort zone and try to learn from us. When you're bringing something to a person for the first time, something new that they never heard before, and they've been accustomed to doing things one way, expect that there is going to be how do you call it, a rebuttal. There's going to be a kickback, however you want to put it. There's going to be, people are going to refuse it. They're going to reject it initially. But then that's where it's up to us to bring the sensible part and actually bring it to a way where they could understand it. And sometimes everyone doesn't get it immediately. I mean, this is not a process that everyone gets immediately. But the thing is that through through time and the way that you carry yourself and the way that people see you, then they begin to respect what is it that you're about. So, for example, if you're living it, you're not going to be receiving Xmas gifts. You're not going to be receiving certain things that are going to confuse people what you're about. So, when they bring that, what I started this when I was 13 years old. So you could imagine I went from being a Christian, a Catholic. In most Spanish speaking countries, the people are Catholic. So we were raised up Catholic. Um, and when you make a change, especially at that young age, and being the only one in your home that's doing this, it's it's kind of rough because when DC, your first Xmas, you gotta turn down the gifts, or you gotta prepare your family members and tell them, don't give me no Christmas gifts. I don't want any Christmas gifts. Shabbat Shalom, Shelly Shell, feeling so blessed. Send my love to my brother Chief Avinya out there. I don't know if he's sleeping already, but tell him that I said Shabbat Shalom. Yeah, so being a child and you used to, getting gifts and doing stuff like that, and now all of a sudden you going, you don't want to receive not any of these gifts, and then you have an aunt that don't know that you hasn't been around, but she sends you that money, and she sends you the Christmas gift and stuff like that. It's tough, especially when you're just starting and you're young. So if you think about a person that doesn't know anything, an empty vessel that really doesn't know anything and was conditioned, that's the word, that's the main word that I'm using, is a conditioning, right? You're conditioned to think one way. You're not going to convince them overnight about the origins of Christianity. It's a gradual process because they've been conditioned to have Xmas trees, go out and spend all their money on gifts for the children. It's a spirit that comes with this season. I did a lecture last year during this time, and I spoke about the origins of Xmas, of Christmas, and where all these things came from. If you could catch the video, you could catch the video, I believe, on my Uzi Alewi channel. My Uzi Alewi channel is a 4-part video about the origins of Xmas. And it's not, it's not an easy thing for people to get rid of, because it's a spirit. And like I always say, even as Israelites, inadvertently we get caught up in the spirit. And what do I mean by this? How do we get caught up in the Christmas spirit? All right. One of the first things is that because we live in society and we're not hermits and we're not hiding, we have to go to work. We still got to go food shopping. We still have to do all these things during this season. So when you go into every supermarket, what do you hear? What song is stuck in your head right now? Is it Mariah Carey's, you know, song that they keep playing over and over? Or maybe by your part of town, they're playing Nat King Cole, Christmas songs, or Run DMC, It's Xmas time in Hollis, Queens. Mom's cooking chicken collard greens. That's what's ringing in your head, So these are the things that, when I speak about the Christmas spirit and how because society is all pushed and forced to do this. So now you get people like you get Hindus and you get Muslims that absolutely are immersed into the culture of Xmas, you know. Torah, my brother Elazar, hallelujah. Thank you. I'm glad that you enjoyed that. So it's not it's not as easy as we might think, because it's a conditioning. You know, everywhere that we go around, the best that we could do is try to avoid not to go into family type things and you know, because family, this is the time that family get together. But you have to try to find a medium or a way to explain it to people to make them understand certain things. And you know, you have a lot of things online that you could point people to, because if you're a true Christian, right? Because the origins of the Christmas story from the Christian point of view, right? Because these winter festivals were celebrated way before the myth was put together that the Christ of the New Testament was born on this day. There were winter solstice celebrations in those times, right? Which a lot of Northern European countries celebrated. And basically they were celebrating the rising of the sun. In Rome, they called it the rise of the conquering sun, because what happened is that during the winter solstice, so that comes on December 21st. That's the official beginning of winter. So that was yesterday. So during this time of the year, the well, between these next 2 or 3 days, it'll be the shortest period of daytime on the earth, right? Um, so by December 24th or the 25th, the sun the days begin to get longer, a minute every day. So in ancient times, especially in Rome and places like this, they said that this was the day of the conquering sun, meaning that the sun have regained its strength. So now you had all different types of ancient cultures had their own winter festival and celebration and their own stories. And like I said, if you go into my Xmas truth about Xmas thing on my Uzi Alewi channel, I explain all that there. But basically that's what it was. So when Christianity became the state religion of Rome, when Emperor Constantine made it the state religion of Rome, he just took pagan customs, which was, you know, the worship of the sun, the worship of the moon, and he incorporated it with Christianity. So now, not only did this time of the year became the day of the conquering SUN, sun, but it also became the day of the birth of the SON, the Son, which is the Christ of the New Testament, which is Jesus as we know him today. And that's how a lot of people, you know, they ran with it and they made it the birth of Christ. Nowhere is it recorded in the New Testament that Jesus was born on the 25th, or as we know today, December. Even in the U.S., the Xmas celebration wasn't celebrated as it is celebrated today in the turn of the what was that? The 1900s is the 20th century. People weren't celebrating really to that extent. People were celebrating it. The time when people in the US really began the celebration, right? When the whole Xmas celebration thing really came out and became uh, um, a big thing, or where it began to trickle into American custom, was the I believe it was Charles Dickens, A Christmas Story. I think that was written like in the 1840s. I could be wrong. You could research that, but that became like the biggest the influence of Xmas, and with all the characters, you know, with the Saint Nick and all that stuff. Don't ask me how I know all this stuff. I just know it. Don't ask me how I know it. I've done a lot of research through years and I've forgotten a lot of stuff, but I believe it was Charles Dickens, a Christmas Story. And that's where you find a lot of that. Believe that's where you find the Scrooge and all that stuff. You know, don't ask me how I know all this stuff. I just know it. So slowly but surely, after that book was written, a lot of what is shaped to be the Xmas that we know today came from a lot of that book. And then they incorporated, like I said, Northern European customs, you know, like the mistletoe, the kiss under the mistletoe, and the holly plant, which later became associated with in Christianity, you know, with the types and shadows that they have going on. They, you know, the holly plant is basically you ever see those evergreens that let out these little red berries that grow in clusters, but the plant, the leaf of the plant is actually green, and they grow through the winter. Well, in Christianity, because they use types and shadows with everything, it came to symbolize, well, an ancient tradition, like I said, the people from northern, the Celts and the people from northern Europe. There was a story about Balder, and this plant was supposed to, or the red berries in the plant was supposed to symbolize his blood that was dripping. But when Christianity took it, they said that the blood or the berries were supposed to symbolize the drops of blood that came down Jesus' face after, from his eyebrow, after wearing the crown of thorns. So goes figures. So like I said, check that video out. It's a lot of, it's a 4-part video, a lot of interesting stuff in it. And you will learn a lot from it. I'm going off the top of the head. I know a lot of this stuff, but it's a lot to cover, you know. It's a lot to cover. So it's all in there. That's why I kind of do these videos. Kind of, I've been doing that stuff for years. And those who know me, you know, and know me from teaching, know that those were my specialties. You know, Christmas, Christianity, all these whole holidays that these people celebrate. Those are the things that I kind of went at. So it's there, it's recorded. You could go through it. And that's basically it. So going back to my original point, these things take time. You're not, like, if someone is listening to me right now that might be new and might be listening to this for the first time, it's not something, it's not an overnight process. It's like when I first started doing Shabbat, the hardest thing when I first started observing the Shabbat as a youth for me was, and that was 1989. I came in, I think, March of 89, around that time. So right after that, it was Pesach. You know, So I kind of my Pesach was kind of shaky because I didn't really know. You know, I was eating cereal, I was eating a bunch of stuff. What did I do? I mean, there was a bunch of stuff, but I really didn't know. And then giving up TV on Friday nights. Friday nights back in them days and Saturday mornings were like the things that you wanted to look at because it was the end of the school week, and you know you got into watching your certain shows. They used to put the best shows on Friday night, at least for the youth, and the morning cartoons and the Sunday morning cartoon, no, the Saturday morning cartoons and Soul Train. That was like a big thing for me, you know, because that's where all the rap artists and everybody used to come on, and you hear all the new songs and stuff like that. So, you know, you went through that. I didn't get it all over in one day. It wasn't like I was able to just like go cold turkey. It was a process. It was little by little until I got to master that part and really hone, you know, understand Torah, because it takes a while. So for people who are celebrating these holy days and family members that we're trying to bring to knowledge of yourselves, I'm gonna tell you something that one of my brothers always told me. It tells me, um, persistence overcomes resistance. So the more you persist, the more the resistance wall goes down. So I'd like everybody right now on my YouTube channel to give me the thumbs up, to use the thumbs up button, to share everybody on both forums, to share the link on all of your social media. We're trying to get this word out there and let the people know. So at this time, you know, the thumbs up should be going up, on YouTube. I got 39 people watching. So them thumbs up should be going up. And share the link to your social media, Bavakasha. Is it wrong to be around your family even though you don't celebrate Xmas? This is the dilemma with being around your family during Xmas time. I spoke about the spirit of the time and of the season, right? You don't really want to get into that spirit. It's never wrong to be around your family. I want to make that clear, but there are certain circumstances and certain things that we need to gain control over. When you're around your family, is you partake of the food, you do certain things. It's never so. I don't want to tell people that it's wrong to be around your family. It's never wrong to be around your family, but you could find maybe the following day, maybe could find maybe something that night. So that kind of stuff. So I'm in Texas now, and I don't have anywhere to go. You're in Texas. You went out there especially during this time. I mean, or do you live in Texas? I'm not sure what you're telling me. So it's never wrong to be around your family, but around these times, it's best to stay away from family because, like I spoke about the spirit of it, you live in there for a year. You don't have a Hebrew community out there, Kasedia Yehuda. Find a community out there that'll be able to help you. I'm sure there's a community in Texas. Andre Rayford said, "What part of Texas?" I have a brother named Andre Rayford here that says, "What part of Texas?" What part of Texas? There's obviously somebody out there in Texas. You can't see Andre Rayford because he's on Facebook, but he said, "What part of Texas?" Dallas. Andre, she's in Dallas. She's in Dallas. You're in the rich part of Texas. They say that's one of the richest cities in the United States. I'm just saying. Is it wrong to collect the holiday bonus from work? Ooh. Now you have, that's a dilemma that you have to work out with yourself. Like I said, I don't have all the answers for everything. Because sometimes what they call the holiday bonus, I don't know if they call it per se the holiday bonus. You got at the they got end of year bonuses. Some companies want to call it that because they know everybody doesn't celebrate Xmas. So it depends on what your company says and what your company do. So that's a decision you basically got to make on your own. I know everybody going to have the questions. I let me get this out the way right now. I wouldn't go to any holiday parties. I've never been to any of the companies I work with. I've never been to any of the holiday parties. That's dangerous. I mean, that's basically going to an Xmas party. Most companies or most job sites, they have the potluck during this time. I think that's what they call it. Everybody brings something in. They already know Uziel is not bringing anything in. They already, for all the years I've been working there, they already know. The other thing that you can avoid is people wishing you a Merry Xmas and a Happy New Year. When I was younger, I used to have that's young men thing. Young men do it, I don't celebrate Christmas, this is not my New Year. That was my favorite thing. But as you get older, you kind of just, especially when you're working with people, I found a way just to kind of deal with it. When they tell you Merry Christmas or whatever, I say, okay, you have a nice day. That's it. I can't, because I'm constantly working with people. It's kind of difficult to kind of keep going with them. Now, you have some people that go Merry Christmas, and then they go, hold on, you don't celebrate Christmas, right? But these are not people that know you. These are just like strangers. You know them. You might interact with them every day, but like the guy at the newsstand, you go, or you go to a restaurant to get something to eat or get some breakfast, or you go to, like I said, the newsstand. You go to this newsstand every morning. You've been going to this newsstand for every morning except Shabbat and Yom Rishon, which we know is Sunday. But you go there every morning to get a newspaper. Maybe they sell, a juice or something, and you say hi to the person and they wish you a Merry Christmas, and but you don't really know them, But then some people see that there's something different with you, and then boom, that's when the conversation opens up. I got the Hebrew Israelite Temple listings and all the places in Texas I hit up. The email was invalid and the numbers were disconnected. All right, let's see what Rayford says here. I'm waiting for Rayford here in Dallas. I'm in Dallas. Andre Rayford said he's in Dallas. Andre Rayford, do you have a congregation out there that you go to, you attend? Rabbi Capers Fune say, if your job offers you holiday money and you don't take, please take and send to me at Beit Shalom in Chicago. That's what the chief rabbi said. He said, send it to him. It says here, okay. My birthday is Christmas Eve, the 24th, and I came to work with gifts under the dead Christmas tree for me saying it was V-Day gifts because they knew I don't celebrate Christmas, but it was under the tree. That's classic right there. That's classic. Like, So that's the funny thing. Like, I know several people who birthdays, like my Ozzy is the 18th, right? So like, she already knows from when I was young. She saved her money. She didn't have to buy me Christmas. Can you imagine how much money my mother saved from not having to buy me Christmas presents for Xmas since I was 13 and going to 14, my 14th year. She didn't have to worry about an Xmas present for me at all. So she was good with that. She never had to spend, she didn't have to buy me Easter clothes anymore. She didn't have to do any of that stuff. So she saved a lot of money with me. That's for sure. I got to tell her about that. But that's another story for another day. I'm just joking. But yeah, a lot of people, you know, they, during this time of the year, you know, they throw in, you know, they feel better about themselves. Well, you know, I could mask it by saying it's their birthday present. If they give you a birthday present, they give you a birthday present. Just, I mean, just accept the birthday present. But under the Christmas tree, I don't know. That seems more like a Christmas present. Oh, they trying to be with Christmas wraps on it and stuff like that. That's bad. Those are some bad co-workers there. And that's funny too. It's okay, y'all. You're not late. We just having a family talk right now. We going over all the things that people go through during this season. I guess we're having like a little, we're having like a little therapy out here. You know what I mean? We're having like a little therapy out here, and is all right. So my brother so my brother Prince Hebron is saying happy holidays is a neutral term in my opinion to avoid the back and forth. Okay. Hey man, we having a discussion because the worst thing you want to do is put yourself in a box, right? Sometimes in order to influence people, you have to be able to speak to their heart. Like I have on my route, right? I have this lady. She tends to I'm having this dilemma. I'm on the couch now. I'm on the couch. I need a little help here because I'm always helping people out or trying to give an opinion on something. So I'm having a little problem here, right? Because I'm on this route. So every time I go into this office, there's nice people in the offices I go to, pretty much, for the exception of the one or two racist people that are out there, but for most part, most of the people are nice. So this I go to this office, and one time when I went there, one of the women that worked there, she baked me a pie. So then, at first she was like, "Oh, I'm going to bake you a pie." And I'm like, "All right, I don't eat from everyone or whatever." She was like, "No, don't worry. It's only pie crust, apples." She ran through the whole ingredients. She wanted me to taste this pie. And I kept refusing. And then she brought the pie. So she brought a pie, apple pie. I mean, it looked good. It looked like perfect. And the container and everything, she said, "This is for you. You're such a nice person. You take this pie home." So I knew I wasn't going to eat it because I don't eat from people that I don't eat. My Ima doesn't do torah. From to my Ima, I say, lady gave me an apple pie. I'm not going to eat it. She was like, "Give it to me. I eat it." So then, so at that point, my Ima was like, "Oh, it was a good apple pie or whatever." So now, when I'm bringing the container back to her, the dilemma is, do you lie and say the apple pie was good, or do you tell them, well, I didn't eat it because I really couldn't eat your food, blah 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 blah. That's like the dilemma, with people that are just so nice and they they just want to give you stuff, and you really can't eat from them and stuff like that. So during this time, you get a lot of that stuff. He says, stretch the truth. You're right. Sometimes it's difficult for me to do that. So during this time, you know, we have a lot of things that come at us. We got a lot of things that all right. Sister Casedia, here it goes. Andre Rayford is sending you an address, right? He said, Andre said, I attended Temple Shalom, 6930 Alpha Road, Dallas, Texas, 75240. Let me put it into, and maybe you will have some luck here. All right. This is what I love about this, because we connect with each other. Boom. There it goes. I attended Temple Shalom, 6930 Alpha Road, Texas. All right. So there you go, Sister Kasedia Yehuda. Oh, sorry. Kasedia is a man. Sorry. My bad. Kasedia, yes, that should be. My apologies, brother. My apologies, brother. Because what happens is, because your name is Kasedia. I knew a sister by the name of Kasadia. So the name sounds similar, so that was what confused me. But your name is Kasedia. I'm sorry about that, brother. I'm sorry. Rabbi. Yeah, now, and you know, this is the time that you do. And oh, I got another question. Let's say some of us, how many in the room like coquito? Coquito. How many in the room? How many of y'all like coquito? Coquito, anybody? How many come from the time of drinking eggnog, right? Or did you like eggnog? So now you know coquito is a holiday. What they in Puerto Rico they call it a holiday drink, right? But is it wrong to drink coquito? Nah. Is it if you like eggnog, is it wrong to drink eggnog? You know, because these are things that are associated with, you know, with the holiday seasons and stuff like that. And those are the things that you know, that people, you got some people that go to certain things and to certain extremes, but everything is not an extreme, because you can't, if it was like that, you know, you wouldn't eat a turkey, because turkeys is synonymous with Thanksgiving, and we really don't celebrate the holiday Thanksgiving that they have here. So it's certain things we just got to use wisdom with, you know. It's certain things we just gotta use wisdom with, and it helps us. We have to learn how to deal with people. Right. So our people need this medicine. The older I've gotten, Shabbat Shalom, how about Charlotte and ginger drink? You could drink that year round. Me, myself, and I know that that's something like in the Caribbean they make during this time, but you could drink that year round, Charlotte and ginger drink. And just for the record, I hate sorrel and ginger. It's a long story. We used to grow sorrel in our backyard in Panama. So I could eat the sorrel raw off the tree. I could eat it like that. Once my grandmother added that ginger to it, I wasn't friends with sorrel, and she made it into a drink. I could eat it raw from the plant, from the tree, but I can't drink it in that drink. So yeah, definitely. So these are conversations that we need to have. Um, what we need to understand is that we need to move away from pagan traditions. We don't want to be entrenched in pagan, and doing your job. You might come across some of these things, and it just is what it is. That is the result of captivity. When you're in captivity, sometimes you end up doing certain things that you don't want to do, or that you're not comfortable with doing. Like, you don't have to do it, but you're like in the midst of it. You know what I'm saying? If I'm being clear enough. So what we do is we stand for what we know for the Most High God before Torah, but captivity is going to put us in certain situations that sometimes we're not comfortable with. But that's why the Most High God gave us wisdom to be able to deal with certain things. Eggnog is very good in Scotch whiskey. I never. Well, I guess eggnog is just like a coquito, because the coquito is like they put liquor in it, right? It's like a sweet drink, sort of like the eggnog, and they say that's the stuff that gets you drunk fastest. So that's crazy. So before we got into this conversation about all this Xmas stuff and all this stuff, because I mean, on a serious note, it's good to discuss things, because a lot of people don't know things, so they feel funny about certain things, or they feel a way about certain things. But I'm here just to tell you to not be afraid, but learn how to communicate and learn how to let people know, like, hey, this is what I'm about. Like I said, at my job, everybody knows, everybody understands. At my immediate job, no one wishes me Merry Christmas, because they know I don't celebrate Christmas. So for the people that are immediately close to you, hey man, you make it be known. For the people who you don't really have that relationship with or whatever, it's neither here nor there. I mean, when you're young, you have the zeal. That's what you do. That's what you're supposed to do. I get it. I did that. You know what I'm saying? I did that. So I'm not deterring the young people or the people who still. I'm just saying, with me, is after a while it just became like I don't have that much time in the day to explain to everyone that. I mean, I've had, oh no, you don't celebrate Xmas, you celebrate Kwanzaa. I got hit with that one too. When people just trying to, because they see the kippah. Because you see, I walk with this everywhere I go. I go with my kippah, until if it gets, when winter really hits, then I don't wear the kippah anymore. I wear a scully because it's too cold. So I got to cover my head. But for most part, if you see me out in the street, and people who know me, for most part, you're going to see me with my kippah on my head. This is me every day. My kippah on my head. If it gets too cold, I put my scully on, and that's like three months out of the year, because it's too cold outside. But yeah, that's me. That's who I am. Wherever people see me, that's how they're gonna see me. What if they say happy holidays? I know we shouldn't consider Hanukkah a holiday, but is it really that big a deal? That's what my brother Prince Hebron spoke about earlier. And if you scroll up, you will see his answer up there. Like I said, a lot of the times when people tell me happy, I don't get into that conversation with them. I just say you have a nice time and you have a good day. I don't get offended. I don't get offended by that stuff anymore. It's not offensive to me. I'm saying me. It's not offensive to me anymore. Is because my thing is I'm looking for an opportunity to explain to you what I'm about. You know what I'm saying? And when you see people in passing, sometimes you don't get to do that. But for the people that I have a time to talk to, then that's something different. So I don't get offended by a lot of that stuff. It's not offensive to me. Yeah, we spent 47 minutes talking about this stuff. So most of the time it's burnt off. Y'all getting spoiled. Y'all getting used to me being on for 2 hours and stuff like that. All right, let's open up scriptures a little. I want to go to Proverbs 27 real quick. Proverbs 27. Proverbs 27 reads, all right, here we go. So I hope everyone is there. Hey, don't forget to put those thumbs up on the video, on the bottom of the video. Press that thumbs up button. Shabbat Shalom. Anytime, my brother Prince. Don't forget to put the thumbs up on the video. So on this right here, I say Proverbs 27, it says, and it reads, let's get into some wisdom right now. Boast not thyself of tomorrow, for thou knowest not what a day may bring forth. So that is not telling you not to plan for tomorrow. I've heard some people misinterpret this and say, don't plan for tomorrow. But what it's saying is that tomorrow really is not promised to any of us, right? And you can't begin to think that that you're going to know what's going to happen tomorrow, because many people plan to do things today. Like one of my favorite announcers, Dick Enberg. You know, those of you that know sports, that like football, Monday Night Football and stuff like that. Dick Enberg passed away like in the wee hours of the morning. And they said he had his bags packed and he was on his way out because he was going to Boston. But because he wasn't answering the calls, his family members went over there and they found him dead, 82 years old. So not that he shouldn't plan to go to Boston, because that's his job. You know, he's a TV personality. He's a personality. He's a star. You know what I'm saying? But basically saying like, yeah, you know, yeah, we're gonna do this in 5 days or whatever. You always got to put. That's why you always hear some people say, if it be God's will or Yah willing, because you always got to put the Most High God and give him credit and say, if he allows it, meaning if he allows me to be there, if he allows me to be alive, if he allows me not to get into an accident, if he allows me to be whole as a person, to be able to go and take care about tomorrow, because nobody knows what a day may bring, what from day to day, what that might bring. So those are things that we have to keep in. Those are things we have to keep in mind. Always put Yah first. always remember that Yah is the one that provides for us and gives us everything. Those are the things that we have to be aware of. And it reads on, let another man praise thee and not thine own mouth, a stranger and not thine own lips. So this is, you know, a lot of people, they like to talk about the goodness that they have done. They like to talk about all the great things that they have done and all the things that are significant because of what they've done and their contributions, and all the things that reflect upon them, and all the things that people should be saying about them because they're so great. But there's a proverb that says, it says, the higher you become, or there's I think it's a psalm, said the higher you become, he said, the more humble you shall be. It's either a psalm or a proverb. So that means that, listen, forget about yourself. Forget about how many great words you think you have, and how good you think you are, and breaking down Torah, how many people you've taught this way of life, and how many people you brought in to this way of life. That's the worst thing that I ever hear in people and what they say. You know, I brought this brother in, I brought that brother in. You didn't bring anyone in. The Most High God allowed you to be the tool to be able to shine the light on someone and to be able to bring them in. Because there's many people that have quote unquote, I brought this brother in, brought that brother in, and those people are gone. And the brother who they quote unquote brought in is still there, or the sister that they quote unquote brought in are still serving God. So you don't bring anyone in. The Most High God uses you as a tool to enlighten someone. The awakening is done by the Most High God, not by man. And don't look for people, or don't boast of yourself, but let people talk about your goodness. Don't start talking about your own goodness. You know, it's like I see a lot of people where I see, and what I compare to this about praising your own self, right? Or boasting of your own self. Praising your own self. When you do charity work, people, right? When we do charity work, when we go out and feed the homeless, when we go out and give food to the hungry and the needy, when you do something good like that, don't take pictures of that. Don't film that and put it on Facebook. If you're doing a job and you're doing work towards helping people, like I see the brother Yeshaya, Yisrael, he constantly on that. This is what he does. He goes out there and he's with the poor. When you see him on Facebook, he's asking for people to donate to help him, because he's actually out there interacting with those people. I think this brother's in California. So when he's speaking about what he's doing, is because he needs other people to get involved, not so much what I did, or like, you don't put things like that online. Those are things that are the work of the Most High God, and you don't have to show people that you've done charity. You know what I'm saying? Charity is best done when it's done in secrecy. Charity is supposed to be between the person who's being charitable and the person who receives that. And that's it. And in turn, the person who receives it, they might have been down and out. And then they boast of you. They said, this is how great this man was. I was down and out. And when I was in my most need, this person helped me out. It's like, for example, when I did the interview with Maureen Mishael, one of our elders in the community, the premier, I always say the premier Hebrew teacher in our community. He taught many people Hebrew. And you see how I'm speaking of him? The premier Hebrew teacher, one of our elders, let someone else do that, right? He would never call himself the premier Hebrew teacher in the community. He would never say that about himself. So in his interview, he was speaking about Chief Amos Ben Yehuda, may the Most High God bless his memory, who also happens to be my father-in-law. He said that Chief Amos gave him $1,000 to put down on his house. Only reason why I'm repeating this is because it's public. It's in his interview, and it's not anything like I'm putting his business out. This is what he put out there himself. So just being clear. And he said that he needed the $1,000, and he needed like the last $1,000 to put down on his house. Chief Amos gave it to him. And then he went to pay him back or something like that. And Chief Amos said, nah, that's for you. I gave you that. That's for you. And he said he never forgot that, but he spoke of the goodness and the greatness, and he praised Chief Amos for that. And that's how it's supposed to go. Like when somebody do charity or somebody looks out for someone, the person who does the charity is not supposed to be the one, yeah, I did this, I did that. It's supposed to be the person who received it was like, man, you know what? It's almost like testifying, like, man, you know what, that brother, man, I was down and out, and that brother or that sister, they looked out for me. That's how it's supposed to go. I hope that I'm making sense to everybody in the room. All right? Don't boast of yourself. Let others boast of you, but don't boast of yourself. It says here, stone is heavy and the sand weighty, but a fool's vexation is heavier than them both. So now a stone is heavy, right? You try to pick up a rock that's heavy, and the sand weighty. You ever pick up a sandbag? After a while, that stuff weighs you down. It says, but none of this physical weight, because this is actual physical weight, is much heavier, is more heavier than a fool's vexation. Because you know why? A fool's vexation it causes stress. It weighs down your spirit. It causes you to lose sleep. It causes you to start thinking all types of evil thoughts and all type of things that are against Torah. It says a fool's vexation is heavier than them both. Because you got to be a fool to be thinking about another person and killing yourself and weighing yourself down. That other person is not thinking about you, but you're vexing your soul. You're vexing your spirit and killing yourself slowly, thinking about someone else and what someone else has done, instead of thinking about your own self and your own health. So those are the things that we have to keep in mind. Wrath is cruel and anger is overwhelming, but who is able to stand before jealousy? Right? So wrath is cruel, anger is overwhelming. So all these things we have to stay away from. Cruelty, and anger is overwhelming, because it engulfs the body, it engulfs the spirit. So it says, anger rests in the bosom of a fool. Only fools dwell in anger. When you see a person is constantly angry, when you see a person, all they could speak about is anger or hate about an individual or another group, that person's spirit, they weigh in their own spirit down. Those are the things that you have to look out for. You have to look at people and how they come across, how they bring forth things, how they're always interpreting certain things. It might be Torah, it might be just a friend. These are the things that you have to look out for, because you can't always be angry. And I'm speaking to myself. You can't always be angry. There's certain things that make us angry. Children cause us to lose our mind, or they try to make you lose your mind. You want to almost kill them, but we got to slow down from that anger. So better is open rebuke than love that is hidden. Said, I'd rather you rebuke me openly, right? Rebuke me openly, like tell me my wrong. That love that is hitting, like, nah, man, you know, I love that brother, man, so I don't really want to offend him. So I'm not really going to tell him that. But the brother's going down the wrong path, or the brother's messing up, but you're not going to tell him because you love him so much, or you love that sister so much that you won't tell her the truth. The love is in the open rebuke because you're trying to save me from myself. So it's better to openly rebuke me, meaning it doesn't mean that you got to rebuke me in front of everybody. Open rebuke meaning that it's better for you to tell me my wrong, because there's also a rebuke that's not comely. You know what I'm saying? So you have to, there's a balance with rebuking people also. So that open rebuke is tell me to my face that I'm going down the wrong way, the wrong path, rather than saying, nah, that's my buddy, that's my girlfriend. I'm not going to crush her spirit, but you know what she's doing is wrong, or you know that she could be doing something better, or you know he could be doing something better. So communication, it goes back to communication. Communication is love, you know. So people hate getting rebuked though, but at the end of the day, they'll appreciate you. If you rebuke them, they will appreciate you. It's only a fool that won't take telling. You know, that's what they said in the Caribbean. Only a fool won't take telling. So they might be angry for a minute, but at the end of the day, they'll thank you because they know that they could depend on you to tell them the truth. I'd rather a friend like that to tell me the truth than someone to just agree with everything that I do and I say. And I'm happy to say that I have friends like that that could correct me. But when you around a person and you around this person and you can't correct this person, or everything they say, they feel that they're right and you can't correct them, then something is wrong. So those are the things that we have to keep in mind, that open rebuke is better than secret love. I'd rather a person that might seem like is obnoxious that tell me the truth than a person that see me going down the wrong path and won't tell me it's true because of they claim that they have love for me. So those are the things that you look at, brothers and sisters. It's better, that's a better friend than anything else. It says here, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are importunate. So faithful are the wounds of a friend. So a friend, although he might wound you with words, right? Or might tell you things that you might not want to hear at that point in time. But at least he's a friend and he's telling you the truth, or she's telling you the truth. But the kisses of an enemy are importunate. The stabbing, or it's using the analogy of kisses, but the enemy is not going to be kissing you. You know what I'm saying? But an enemy of yours constantly bombards yours, constantly coming at you left and right, or is putting you in situations, or saying this or saying that about you. It never stops. It's ongoing. But when you understand wisdom, you understand these things, and you understand the difference between friends and enemies. You know what I'm saying? And these are the things that help to distinguish us and help to make us the people that we are. You know, resilience is a part of life. We try to teach our kids resilience, right? But the best way to teach them resilience is through example and what they see. And what they see in us, if we're resilient, then our kids most likely will become resilient. And those are the things that we have to we have to toughen up our skin sometimes. We're living in a dog-eat-dog world, as they say, so we have to toughen up sometimes. So yeah, people might say things about you, people might talk about you, but that's also life. Nobody wants to be talked about, but that's life. You understand what I'm saying? And those are things that we go through. Verse 7, the full soul loatheth a honeycomb, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So somebody who's full, right? This is the analogy that they give. Somebody that's full, right? Man, I don't really want anything else to eat. Keep the sweets. I don't have space for cake, ice cream, or anything. I'm too full, you know. But to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. Somebody who's starving, you give them some bitter herbs. You give them some horseradish. Say, man, that's the best food I ever tasted. You know what I'm saying? That's the best food I ever tasted. So we could use it in these terms. It says, if we're full with wisdom, we don't have space to put that junk in. You know what I mean? So when we full with understanding and with wisdom, we loathe the junk. We don't want to damage our bodies, right? But to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. The hungry soul is the person who don't apply themselves to the wisdom. So now they allow anything to come into their body. Foolishness, backbiting, tail bearing, everything that's contrary to Torah, and they allow it to come in, and it all tastes good to them because they can't discern, man, I don't want to hear that. That's gossip from, this is some good stuff right here that I could receive. So these are things that we all have to keep in mind and we have to be aware of. All right. As a bird that wandereth from her nest, so is a man that wandereth from his place. Right? They have no direction. So a bird that wandereth from her nest, there is no security, right? So if you're a wandering person, you have to have a base. You have to have a foundation. This is basically what it's telling you. You have to have a base. You have to have a foundation. I always say this to my son. I said, son, you got to have a foundation, no matter what. Because if your foundation is strong, you always got something strong to fall back on. Regardless of what you find yourself in life or whatever places you find yourself in, if your foundation is solid, you'll be okay. Verse 9, ointment and perfume rejoice the heart, so doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. So just like ointment and perfume rejoice the heart. When you smell perfume on a woman, or you got on some nice cologne, some ointment, man, you feel good about yourself, right? It bolsters up your spirit. It makes you feel good because you feel clean. You feel like, man, people are really going to like this fragrance on me. So that same feeling that you have, so doth the sweetness of a man's friend by hearty counsel. That means we have to be able and willing to take counsel, because he said, without counsel, a nation perish. You have to be able to take counsel. If it's only a counsel of one, even in your family structure, right? Even if you're the man, you're the head of the household, you still have to be able to take counsel from your wife, from your significant other. You have to. Sometimes as your children get older, they give you counsel, right? And that's just how it goes. Counsel is good because no one man, runs everything or has all the ideas for everything. That's ludicrous to think that. It says here, thine own friend and thy father's, hold on. Thine own friend and thy father's friend forsake not, neither go into thy brother's house in the day of thy calamity. It says, thine own friend and thy father's friend forsake not, neither go into thy brother's house in the day of calamity. So when you get to a certain point in life, don't forsake your friends. And don't forsake your father's friends. Right? Because they were your father's friends for a reason. So if they were your father's friends, they will also become good friends to you. Usually your father friends, even though if they're really good friends, they become Uncle Larry, Uncle Joe, Uncle Mo. They not your biological uncles, but they become family. They're all the family events, they're everything. So when Abba passes away, you could still go to Uncle Larry and Uncle Mo for advice. They're going to give you good advice. They're going to be there. They're going to look out for you as if you were one of their own. You understand what I'm saying? So this is what it's talking about. Don't forsake them, because sometimes in your time of calamity or your time of need, they might be there for you. Better is a neighbor that is near than a brother far off. So better to have a neighbor that's right there with you than a brother that you're biological brothers with, but you're distant. Do you have those? Many of us have those in our lives. We have brothers, biological brothers, but they're distant. We don't really get along with them. I've heard stories of brothers pulling out weapons. I've heard stories of brothers shooting brothers. So that's not really, they came out of the same womb, and there's just no love there. But you have a friend that's better than a brother. That's also a proverb. You got a friend you're closer to them than a brother. You will do more for that friend than your biological brother. And they said blood is thicker than water, but some of our family situations, some of you understand what I'm talking about. And if you understand what I'm talking about, give me a thumbs up, please. So if you know what I'm talking about, give me, if you know what I'm talking about, give me that thumbs up about brothers and how everything, sometimes you might have a friend that's closer than a brother, that you will do more for that friend than for that brother. But King Solomon is so precise that he's given us stuff that we understand today. So it's not foreign to us today because it was like that back then. Don't you think that King David and Solomon was close? They said the love that they had surpassed the love of a woman. He was closer with Jonathan. King David was closer with Jonathan, and Jonathan was closer with King David than he was with any one of their brothers. And that happens because they said you got kindred spirits, right? You just know each other's moves. You know what I'm saying? You just know how each other gonna move. You just know how each other gonna be, and you're there for each other. Hey, that's how it goes. That's life. It says here, give me 1 second here. I lost my son, be wise and make my heart glad, that I may answer him that taunted me. A prudent man seeth the evil and hideth himself, but the thoughtless pass on and are punished. So, like I said earlier, if you're a prudent person, right? You're a person with discernment. You see the evil and you hide yourself from it. So when people start coming with you with all this craziness about another brother or another sister, or people come to you with stuff, you just say, "Hey, let me catch up to you, man. I'm gonna get back to you." You know what I'm saying? You run away from that because you don't want to hear, you don't want to be involved in it. But the thoughtless pass on and are punished. You get involved, and then your name is all in a mess and all that, and then you're part of it because you didn't run away from it. You didn't hide from it. So these are just proverbs to keep us on point and to keep us on our toes. Take his garment that's surety for a stranger, and hold him in pledge that is surety for an alien woman. So don't be surety for somebody that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like, in other words, don't co-sign for someone that you don't know, because you're going to get left holding that bag. You understand what I'm saying? And this goes in life too. People come to you and be like, man, I want to buy this car, but my credit is not good. And you know, if you, I know you got A1 credit, man. Can you just put your name down? You know what happens when you co-sign for someone? When that person stops paying, then that means when you co-sign, you mean that you're willing and able to take over the payments. Sometimes you can't even co-sign for family members. I repeat, sometimes you cannot even co-sign for family members that are not responsible. That's wisdom, you know. That's wisdom. And hold them in pledge that surety for an alien woman. Hold them in pledge. And some of y'all know what I'm talking about. That's why I see all these emotions that are going up. Because y'all know some of y'all have co-signed on them vehicles for a brother, irresponsible brother. You knew he was irresponsible. Your irresponsible sister, you knew she couldn't make those payments. I need you to come co-sign for me. I want to buy this BMW. BMW? You got BMW money? No, I don't got BMW. Yeah. I got the money, but my credit is not good, so my percentage is real high. They charging me a 8% interest rate. He'd be like, well, why are they charging you that high? Well, I had, when I was younger, I had a little problem with a credit card, blah, blah, blah. I forgot to make payments. That's red flag number one. That's why you should not be co-signing for someone for a vehicle. Once they tell you that they wasn't paying their credit cards, or listen, I can't do it. I'm sorry. I can't do it. Because now you put yourself on the line. As soon as they stop, oh man, can you co-sign for me with this college loan? The person don't pay it, they start sending you the bill. Believe you me, I know how that goes. Don't put yourself out there. Don't put yourself out there for family members that you know are not worth it. Your children that are going to college and stuff like that, that's you almost owe them that. So you can't, you're not going to leave them hanging. Any parent will go through whatever just to put their children through school. So I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, the people in your family, them. I don't have to mention them. Once I started speaking about this, the first person in your family that popped up in your head, right? When I first started talking about this, the first person that popped up in your head, if you had that family member that popped up in your head that might have did you wrong, just give me the thumbs up. If you had that family member, the thumbs up or the fist, you like, yeah, man, he hit that right on the button, man. He must have been reading my mind. So you said, got all types of stories here. Pay for 6 months. Good. They think they only have to pay for 6 months, that they all good. You know what I mean? So those are the things that we have to keep in mind. Just be wise in what you do. And just because you have the same blood running through your veins doesn't mean you have to go out of your way to put yourself in debt to help somebody out. The people you could do good to. The family members you could do good for, and that will be there and be responsible. And the ones that you can't. And that's just what it is. It says here, let's drop down to verse 17. It says, iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend. So it goes back to communication, right? Just like iron sharpens iron. You get a piece of iron, it sharpens iron, right? That's what they do, the chefs, right? I think I seen Chef Tahora on the stream. Oh, and my condolences go out to the Yehuda family down in Georgia who lost their ima. May the Most High God bless y'all and keep y'all. And may the Most High God bless the memory of y'all ima. It's never easy to lose a mother or a parent or anything like that. So we send out our condolences to you and to your family, my brother Itamar, Yehoshua, Shaul, and like I said, my sister Tahora, and everybody else down there. Yehu, all these are all the people that I know. All the grandkids and the children. That the Most High God be with you all and protect you and strengthen you and be with you in this time of your loss. So I believe for those of you that don't know, the funeral will be this coming Wednesday. This coming Wednesday. If you didn't know that the Ima passed away, you could get in contact with Itamar. You could get in contact with Morey Itamar with if you have him as a friend on Facebook, or with his sister Tahora. To all the Yehuda gang out there, Rofania, everybody, my condolences, everybody out there. It's tough. It's not an easy thing to lose a parent. So may the Most High God bless and keep all of y'all. Hallelujah. Whoso keepeth the fig tree shall eat the fruit thereof, and he that waiteth on his master shall be honored. I wanted to go to another part. Let me 1 second. Said, be thou diligent to know, verse 23, be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks, and look well to thy herds, for riches are not forever, and doth the crown endure unto all generation. So this is a lesson, right? It's like you ever see athletes, sometimes they get to their prime, they get that big contract, $100 million contract or whatever, but they feel like they're going to be earning this money forever. So they spending it as quick as it's coming in. You have to learn to save your money, especially when you're in your prime. When you're in your prime, where you could work and you could put your body through the rigor and you could work double shifts and you could do all that stuff. Be thou diligent to know the state of thy flocks. Your flocks is your money. And look well to thy herds. Look well to you how you collect your money, because you can't give all your money away, because then what you're going to have for the future, for retirement, for when the as it says, the evil days come upon you, when you got to go to the doctor every month or every 2 weeks and stuff like that. So you have to start planning from now about the future, now hoping that we could be much more healthier than what our parents were, and we don't have to be in the doctor's office all the time, because we exercise and we do all the things that we're supposed to do to be healthy. We eat right, do all those things. But it's inevitable. With age comes, sickness and certain things. Not all the time, but with age it comes. Pains and aches and knee replacement and hip replacement and stuff like that. Right? So it says, look well over your herd, for riches are not forever. You're not, money doesn't grow on a tree. So there comes a point where you're not going to always be earning. And doth the crown endure unto all generations? No. So you're not going to be on top forever. And that's what happens. You see sometimes with athletes, when they pass their prime and they don't want to give it up, boxers especially. Boxing is a very telling sport, because it shows you know, as you get older, you really lost a step. You know, you lost two. The punch is coming and your brain is telling you to move, but you're like a millisecond too late, and that punch coming and gets you, and that accumulation. So those are the things. So you know, when you have it, when you're young or whatever, don't spend it widely. Don't go to the club and because you trying to give an impression of something that you're not. You're popping bottles for $300 and $400. Does that make sense? When you could buy the same bottle outside for $40, but because you're trying to impress people, you're in a club paying for a $40 bottle, you're paying $400. That's 300 and some dollars you could have been stacking up somewhere for your future, to buy a house, to do something productive. So, you know, youth is vanity and youth is vain. Some of you that have done that, you understand exactly what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about when people do stuff like that. You know, um, that's really it. That's really it. That's all I have to say. So that y'all don't forget to give me the thumbs up on the bottom of the video on YouTube. Don't forget to share the link on your social media. Let people hear this. At the beginning, we had a very interesting conversation about um, the Xmas season and all the things that are going on right now, all the things that people encounter. Um, so those are the things that we keep in mind. So don't forget to like the video on YouTube. Right underneath the video, the thumbs up. Just give it the thumbs up. Don't forget, if you're new to the channel, to subscribe to my channel on YouTube, to the D.C.B channel on YouTube. Just press the subscribe button on the bottom. The notification button or the bell button right next to it, that symbolizes the anytime we upload a video or we're about ready to go live, it will give you the notification, all right? On whatever you have it, if you have it on your phone or whatever, so it makes it easier for you. So don't forget to subscribe to the video. I thank all of y'all for joining us tonight. I hope and pray that the Most High will continue to be with Kobe Yisrael scattered in the four corners of the earth. All of you brothers and sisters that faithfully join me every Shabbat night, you make my night beautiful, and you make me enjoy it because I'm able to interact with all of you. And I've been doing this for a while, but it never gets old to me. It is always refreshing to be able to bring something to people. And sometimes, you know, you get new people, and that's the most refreshing. And I'm happy because people always tell me that, and whenever I run into people or I see people, they always tell me how much they love the Shabbat night talk. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know that the Shabbat night talk was so has so much of an impact. I always looked at Shabbat night talk as just, you know, just passing time, but I didn't know that it was so impactful to some people, you know, until people brought it to my attention. So when I see that the Shabbat night talk is so impactful to people, then I say I got to step it up. I got to, you know, come up with better topics and better things. You know, my dream was always to make it almost like a radio show, but I need obviously more people to make it like a radio show. So hopefully at some point I could achieve my dream, and I could do that. All right. So thanking the Most High God, the King of the universe, for my life, for all of your lives, for wisdom, for understanding, for allowing me to be here, and for I don't know if somebody was trying to call me because I heard the phone in the other room, but I don't have the phone by me, so I'm sorry about that. I don't see if somebody. Give me a second here. I'll be right back. I know somebody is trying to call me, so they call both phones. And if somebody call both phones, that must be important. So let's hear what the people have to say. I don't want to just hang up and Zima have a red. All right, here we go. She wants to chime in, so let's see what Ima has to say. Shalom. Shalom.
Praise the Most High Yah for Israel.
All right. How you doing, Ima?
Look, I called in because I need prayer tonight. I need prayer from all my brothers and sisters tonight. I'm usually the one that's trying to be the uplifter and give good advice, but it's really funny that funny, but that you spoke about the things that you've been speaking about tonight out of the wisdom text. Mm-hmm. Because I have started a new job, as you know.
Uh-huh.
I'm not really used to. I've been blessed for the past, I say, about 6 or 7 years that I have not had to work for other people. I always had my own business and worked for myself. And then I was in an accident, and I stopped working for my own business because I was in an accident and I couldn't work.
Right.
And then I decided to go back to work for a little while to build up some funds so that we could go back into business.
Right.
And I got a job with the state. The Most High blessed me with the job at the state. But, I've just been doing a lot of reflection, and I have been back in the mainstream of society, as you all are probably doing all the time. And it's very difficult for me as an Israelite to be around people, and I know the Most High tells you don't hate your brother, don't hate your sister, and I'm not a hateful person.
Right.
I'm not a hateful person. I can't even remember nobody I had some people do some stuff in my lifetime. Of course, I'm almost 60. That a lot of people would probably be in jail for right now. But I'm a type of person. I can find a way to walk away. I can find a way to forgive. I can find a way to pray about it and let it go. Okay. But I have just been seeing so much ugliness in the characters of our people, and it just gets to you. You start questioning yourself. You just start, you can make this in my home, and that I grew up with, my uncles, aunts, cousins, everybody, my mother and them, my great grandmother and them were part of the Black National Guard movement, and into other areas of faith, different things with the Moors, and I was a Pan-Africanist. I'm just saying, I love my people. I stand for what I talk about, but it is hard loving a hard head. It's hard loving a hard head. And when you know that somebody got so much potential, I'm going to tell you guys something. When you're around a person and you got potential to be great, and they see you not even trying to use that potential, it hurts. I'm telling you right now, you hurting folks.
That's right.
You're hurting folks with your stuff, okay?
That's right.
We know if you don't know your potential and don't know your worth, your self-worth, and your value, get it together. Because y'all hurting Ima over here, and I ain't dealing with this.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
I wanna pull somebody's hair out. I'm telling you.
Right.
Help me, y'all. Please help me. Help me. Help me. And I'm telling you, I come home sick. I couldn't even hardly talk. But I'm holding it down. Sister wearing ZCs every day. I wear my dresses down to my calf, and you know, I'm who I am, and God is giving me favor amongst the people that I work with. I work for the state of Georgia, so I'm around senators, I'm around knuckleheads, I'm around some of everybody.
Right.
But I only get trouble from my own folks.
It's always like that.
And no matter how nice you are, you're going to have people that's trying you. Now, I'm going to maintain, but I know that I can do evil. Put me in y'all prayers. And I know that the Father say, be good to each other and all that, but we got to be honest. We make it hard for folks to be good to us. Because first of all, we ain't grateful for nothing. We think we deserve everything we get. And then we try to play a game when we know we get it wrong. So I'm telling y'all, give me my break, okay?
All right. All right.
I love y'all, Israel.
Love you too, Iman.
Don't let me disappear because if I heard somebody will find me at home. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Shalom. So let's keep Ima Havaret in our prayers as she's dealing with our people, as she's just getting back reacclimated to the work space and the craziness of people, of our people, which you encounter in most jobs. The people that don't, that don't understand your way of life or try to look down on you are the people who are not, who are of your own people, but not the other people. They understand everything you're saying, or if they give you a hard time about it, it's your people, your black supervisor, your black, employee that works right next to you. What you think? You better than us? That's the kind of stuff you hear. So once again, Shalom, Yisrael. Don't forget our brothers and sisters of Beni Adat. If you got that GoFundMe, help them out. Donate in order so that they could get their place back up and running. Also, like I said, the brother Ephraimite Magan, who was in a car accident last week, we also send our prayers to him and his family. I believe someone told me his wife was in the car with him also, and he lost both of his lower limbs, lower extremities. So let's keep that brother in our prayers and his wife, so that the Most High God will give them a sense of peace, with all this madness that happened. So thank you to the supreme intellect of the universe for knowledge, for wisdom, and for understanding. And I thank all of you for joining us and for being with us. May Yah bless each and every one of you. Shalom, shalom. And everyone have a great night's sleep. Don't forget to join us in the morning on the same channel, 11 a.m. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel and like this video, the thumbs on the video. Bavakasha. Shalom, shalom, everyone. The thumbs up on the video, and everyone have a great day. Shalom.